What's going on, Lakers fans? D-Mac here. Welcome to another episode of the Lakers 24-8 Roundtable. And as always, I'm joined by Mr. Noah Cameras. To my left, you can follow him at Noah Cameras. And to my right, Mr. Noel Sanchez. He brings the noise. Follow him at Noise by Noel. Gentlemen, you ready to talk some Lakers playoff basketball?
We are finally here. Long season. We made it. It's time to talk play-in basketball. We can't talk playoffs yet.
We are fired up.
We got to talk play-in.
It's still considered the playoffs, though. Actually, there's a thread about that. It's still the playoffs because it's still the postseason. It's almost like it's like purgatory in between the regular season and the official playoffs. But still, the Lakers are in pretty good shape. If you look at their matchup with the Minnesota Timberwolves, Lakers a 6.5-point favorite. They went 2-1 against the T-Wolves this season, but the one time they beat them was when you had LeBron and AD on the same court. Lakers, of course, finished 43-39 after starting the year 2-10. They won 18 of their last 26 games. So first things first, though, how you feeling about this matchup with the Minnesota Timberwolves? How do you feel about the Lakers heading into this first play-in game?
Yeah, you got to be excited about the matchup. Obviously, Anthony Edwards is really just one of the rising stars in this game. He's going to be tough to defend, but he's there. Cat's there, another great rising star, but Rudy Gobert won't be there. He got suspended for one game, and everyone's talking about Rudy Gobert not being there. I think the bigger advantage is Jaden McDaniels not being there. Obviously, it sucked what happened with him. He punched a wall. If you didn't see it, broke his hand, or fractured his hand, which is a huge bummer, but also he kind of did it to himself. But yeah, I mean, as Doug was saying, and we were talking earlier, he's one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. He would completely just mess things up for the Lakers, and instead he's out there. LeBron is going to absolutely eat. He's coming off an 8-for-14 game from deep. He looks on fire right now. So I think you got to love the matchup, and sports there's the D'Lo revenge aspect, trying to beat the team who he helped win a play-in game. I'm not really helped because he struggled, but the team he was a part of. So I do like the matchup. Obviously, Gobert's not being there means Anthony Davis should have a really nice time in the paint.
100%.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you mentioned Jaden McDaniels. They don't have a puncher's chance without him, in my opinion. I think you just mentioned, too. He is one of the better on-ball defenders, one of the best perimeter defenders in the game. To lose him is such a big blow for this team. But we got to talk about Rudy Gobert. So I want to talk about Rudy Gobert first. The Baguette Biombo, he's out the French suspension. He won't be in there for the Timberwolves. And I think it actually could work to the Lakers' favor in the end. But still, I mean, there's also some talk, too, that you mentioned Anthony Edwards, a guy that if you really go stretch five, you stretch the court, and you allow him to just get hot, maybe it helps them without him clogging things up. But what are your initial takeaways of just going into this game without Gobert there on the floor for the T-Wolves?
I mean, I like their chances a lot, even with Gobert being there, considering that his fit has been pretty horrible with them this year. And you just tell that whole vibe is off for him to have to go out and literally punch his teammate in one of their most important games of the season right before they're trying to go on a playoff run. It's just not a good look. And considering that him and D'Lo had a lot of problems before D'Lo was traded, that locker room has been a mess for them being one of the teams on the rise with Anthony Edwards, with Karl-Anthony Towns in the mix. And I just feel like them not having Gobert, it might help them to a bit. I still really like our chances, obviously, like you said, not having Jaden McDaniels in the picture, but Edwards, he's going to be just chucking. He's going to go to work. Did you guys see that game that he played the other day against the Pelicans? He was going crazy at the end.
Especially at the end. He's at the end. He was taking over blocks, offensive rebounds, putbacks. Exactly. And obviously, he's a great shooter. No, I mean, he's a special player. He really is.
I think that's the main guy the Lakers are going to have to worry about. 100%. And obviously, we know what Cat does. He acts a little fake tough in the playoffs sometimes, but I think those are the two obviously they're going to have their hands full with. But I mean, not having McDaniels, that's the real key that I think is going to...
Super quick sidebar. Is the Rudy Gobert trade the worst trade in NBA history?
I mean, it's
up there.
I mean, I feel like it's almost...
I mean, the trade with the extension, though.
Yeah,
I look at that, and I also look at the Ben Simmons one for Harden.
That's a bad one. Also, the Nets and the Celtics one were all the veterans. But I don't know, this Rudy Gobert one's looking bad. Was it 5 first-round picks and Walker Kessler, who's literally outplayed Gobert this year?
By a mile on the defensive end.
That's a bad trade.
You got Bolmero, you got all those first-round picks and the 29th first round, all the picks. Swaps, all those guys would probably throw a better punch than Rudy Gobert.
Come on, man.
He throws that punch, just backs up into the locker room right there.
Man, that dude has a crazy wingspan, though. Like, I feel like if anybody would have connected if he wanted to, it would have been him. Do you think he was trying to connect? I think he was trying to hit him in the chest. Just give him a little.
Yeah, probably a little bit of that. I mean, I think for Rudy Gobert, you mentioned this team, though, as far as, the loss of McDaniels, that definitely really stings to this team. But also, if you look at some of the metrics as far as the net ratings with Rudy Gobert off the court, they're a really good team as far as Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards allow them to operate with Gobert and Towns and Reed and McDaniels off the court. They're a minus 6.2 in 264 possessions, and then with Cat and Rudy Gobert off the court with Naz Reid and Jaden McDaniels. They're at plus 9.5 points per 100 possessions.
So if you look at, both out.
They're both out. So you're missing him as well. So I think they're in a bad spot. I think for this Lakers team, they're a team that sometimes they get off to slow starts, and it's a one and done scenario essentially if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves. But you got an electric Lakers crowd the first time at full capacity in the LeBron era. But yeah, this Minnesota team, what's the matchup that you're looking for as far as who presents the biggest problem? Of course, you got Anthony Edwards, but how do you look for the Lakers to kind of neutralize him?
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at Jared Vanderbilt, Vando's vault, see if he, I mean, I think he's going to be the guy that's on Anthony Edwards when he's on the court. I don't think he's going to. I mean, he'll probably start on him. Yeah, I mean, he'll just. I think they're just kind of.
Should be Vando.
I mean, it should be Vando on him, and if Vando's off the court, I mean, someone like Austin Reeves can do his best. But I do think it's going to be Vando who's just taken it. I mean, here's the thing: if Anthony Edwards has a bad game, there is literally no way the Timberwolves win. Like, it's not like Cat is going to single-handedly.
Cat's not going to go for 60.
Yeah, like he's not going to do something like that. But Anthony Edwards is the X factor, obviously, because he can easily drop 45, and in a one-and-done game, like you said, if he gets hot, things could go downhill. So if slowing him down, if he gets under 20 points, I mean, that game's over. I mean, there's no way the Timberwolves are winning. So it's Vando and double teams and just making sure he is not an impact, because you want to let Mike Conley and Kyle Anderson and anyone else beat you. So yeah, I mean, it's Jared Vanderbilt, it's the Vando's vault. He'll probably play some extra minutes, and then just whoever else is out there, Reeves, even, I mean, whoever it is, just making sure they're slowing him down.
Yeah, and how do you want to see him match up with Anthony Edwards? How can they slow him down?
I mean, definitely, like Noah said, Vando is the obvious answer. You get some Reeves action there to give Vando like a couple minutes break, but I want to see Vando game like 35 minutes minimum, 35 to 40 minutes. We don't really have to expect much from him on offense like usual. We just need him to put all his energy into slowing down Edwards, and the Lakers take care of the rest on offense. AD is going to dominate down low. We saw LeBron already gain his groove back last game, giving himself the crown. Reeves is going to do Reeves things like usual. Yeah, the boy Cody over there doing it. And yeah, man, like, I'm pretty excited. Just don't let Edwards go crazy, because he's young. He wants all the confidence in the world, so that's the only thing they got to worry about.
I'm also expecting a big offensive game from D'Lo. I just see him like totally.
That's that revenge game. Just like
that revenge game, totally just letting the game come to him, getting over 20 points, just kind of running the offense. And like I said, allowing it to come to him, not forcing anything. But when he gets those open looks, he's going to put him in. And he's going to love that LA crowd when he does it. He's going to.
And that Minnesota team kind of lost like a little bit of their sauce not having D'Lo. Even though he's struggling in the playoffs, he brings that energy, and then they don't have Pat Bev anymore. We made fun of him for jumping on the freaking scores table and stuff, but like, people love that. That brings
it showed that energy. They cared. I mean, they cared. And Mike Conley's not going to be jumping on that. He's not going to be jumping on the boards after a win.
Yeah, no, I always say that Adam Silver, he should have taken that job with Disney, because he's one of the best script writers in the game right now. To pair the Lakers and the Timberwolves in that first round, I think too, if you look at this Timberwolves team, they're currently 26 when it comes to turnover percentage in the clutch. The Lakers, one of the best in that category as far as not turning the ball down the stretch, and that's a lot for Anthony Edwards. But still, I mean, as far as a competitor, as far as an athletic guy, I mean, I could absolutely see him going off. And if he does, they're going to be in this game. I think you look at that point spread at 6.5. The Lakers always like to make things interesting. They'll get off to slow starts.
They'll be down 10 early.
I mean, look, I think they go a slow start, not shooting well from beyond the arc. You could see that. And also, too, Minnesota knows they need to get off to a good start when you consider they are a little undermanned. But I think the formula for Minnesota is you have a lot of switching on defense, you spread the floor, allow him to work lanes, allow him to get opportunities. But I think one of the big matchups as well is how are they going to guard Anthony Davis? Because we know AD has been a monster, but he scored under 20 in 4 of his last 8 games. And one of the reasons that happened was because of the double teams. You know they're going to throw a double at him. You know Kyle Anderson is probably going to be that freelance rover type. What do you think they need to do to kind of free up AD so he doesn't get neutralized by those double teams?
Yeah, I mean, definitely want to get a lot of pick and rolls, a lot of just switching, making the Timberwolves switch off ball. And I think they should. I think that the Lakers should be okay with double teams. Here's the thing: if you can get Anthony Davis in the post and you get a double open, what does that mean? An open man. And you got shooters. Malik Beasley, he started to pick things up at the end of the year. I think he can play a really big game. He can play a really big part in this game if he gets those open clutch threes. Same with D'Angelo Russell. I mean, if AD's getting double teamed, that leaves D'Lo, Austin Reeves, Malik Beasley, Troy Brown Jr., all these guys are going to be open, to get open looks. Rui Hachimura maybe in the corner. If they're hitting those looks, this game's going to be over quickly. So if the double teams are coming, great. Pass out of it, quick passes, and get those open shots. And then once those shots start hitting, they're going to have to sag off a little bit and not do the double team, and then AD can go to work. So I think I don't think the game
Easy
plan
formula.
should be. Yeah, I don't think the
Easy
game plan
formula.
should be to avoid double teams, but it should be make quick, smart passes out of them to get your shooters open looks. And I loved what I saw from Malik Beasley in those last couple games.
Yeah, and I think too when you look at the Lakers offensively going to matching up against a Minnesota team that doesn't have Rudy Gobert, the Timberwolves they're 17th in the league when it comes to allowing offensive rebounds. The Lakers they're 9th in the league at putback points. So even if they do double team him, there are going to be some opportunities for him to get offensive rebounds and get easy putbacks. But are you expecting a big game from AD? Do you think they need him to put him on his back and really be that guy, be their best player on the floor for 48 minutes?
I mean, I want him to do that every night in the playoffs personally. I want him to, like we've said, take the torch. I want him to just show that he's really that guy still and that he can take on that number one option and just be the best big man in the league on both ends of the floor. Whether that means dropping 40 and shutting down Cat tomorrow, like I think that's going to be the most important thing for him because there's always been all these comparisons about Cat early on taking over AD's role. And it's got to be personal whenever AD goes up against a good big man. He needs to show him that there's nobody in this league that can match him on either end of the floor. So that's the type of dominance that I want to see from him. Even if he's getting doubled, like, do we really expect Kyle Anderson to come in and just strip the ball from him or Karl-Anthony Towns to be able to hold him in the post? Like, this is Anthony Davis. We're talking about someone that helped the Lakers win a championship in 2020, one of the most generational players we've ever seen. And it's unfortunate that injuries have slowed him down so far, but this is the playoff run where he can just prove everybody wrong and win the city over again.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point you made right there, and just the way they utilize him. And I think, too, another big factor is three-point shooting because we know Morey ball is real with the Timberwolves. If you look at that team, 39.1% from beyond the arc, that's fourth best. Also, shot frequency at the rim as 36.2%. So this is a team that's going to try to get to the rim. They're going to try to shoot, and they're also from beyond the arc. Who is a player from beyond the arc they need to really shut down that's not named Anthony Edwards that can really flip the game?
I mean, Mike Conley is a Laker killer. He's always kind of come up in big moments against the Lakers, and he's been sneaky good from deep this year. So I think he's definitely someone you want to watch out for. I mean, yeah, obviously Anthony Edwards, again, he's going to be the guy that you have to watch. But Mike Conley can easily make some open looks. And if he starts to get going, I mean, he's had some pretty big scoring outputs this year, and he's had pretty good games against the Lakers in his career. So I think if there's another guy you want to watch, it would be Mike Conley. And then obviously Cat can always get going from deep too, and he can stretch the floor. And if the Lakers are sagging off of him too much, if Anthony Davis or Mo Bamba, Wendy Gabriel, whoever's on him is sagging off, then Cat could also really get going from deep, especially at the top of the arc where he likes to shoot from. So there are definitely some guys, but yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to keep beating the dead horse here, but if Anthony Edwards is slowed down, the Lakers are going to win this game. If 100%. Anthony Edwards goes off, the Timberwolves are going to be in this game.
Yeah, Mike Conley Jr. is that. Of course, Mike Conley Sr., gold medal in the triple jump, the 92 Barcelona Olympics, the Ohio State player. But who's another guy you want to see him shut down during the game?
I mean, just taking a look at the roster, there's not a whole lot of other go-to scorers, like we said, outside of Anthony Edwards, outside of Cat, and that's where a lot of their problems have light in the season, considering that they didn't have Cat for a while. So I think just neutralizing him, not letting him get hot from three, he's well regarded as one of the best three-point shooting big men of all time. I mean, you also have a former Laker, Matt Ryan, who gave us one of the clutch shots ever. He's probably not going to play, but we know what he does, so just be careful if he checks into the game.
Postmates Mamba.
Honestly, Naz Reid was a big loss.
Yeah,
Naz Reid was. Now he's a beast.
I mean, he was going off as a stretch five off the bench and really playing big minutes for that team, having big scoring output. So that was a big loss for them. I mean, between him and Jaden McDaniels, those are two of their key rotational pieces that they're not going to be with. And the Lakers, for the first time in pretty much forever, are going to be fully healthy going into this game. So it's like really like a complete 180 from how the season's been for the Lakers.
No excuses for dropping this at all. Like even if Anthony Edwards goes off, we have plenty of our own players who can do the same. The Timberwolves can't say the same. Like I mean, they have some vets in Austin Rivers and Taurean Prince, but
I mean, Kyle Anderson's had a great year, Mr. Slow-Mo. I mean, he's always been super solid, kind of filling the stat sheet, doing all the little things. But you're not going to lose a play-in game to Kyle Anderson.
Yeah, we have everyone, so there should be no excuse, really. They just need to lock in and do what they do.
Yeah, I think on paper, there's no question the Lakers have the clear advantage. Yeah. They're hot. They're at home. They're the deeper team, the better team with the better stars that, well, they also didn't punch themselves out of the playoffs like they did with McDaniels and, of course, Rudy Gobert. But there's also another interesting storyline in that the Lakers did use that roster spot, and they brought in the Tristan Thompson. So Tristan Thompson and Shaq Harrison.
Shaq's back.
And, Shaq Harrison, he's back. But first, we're going to talk about Tristan Thompson. So Thompson hasn't played in the NBA this season. He spent his year giving out bad NBA takes on ESPN. And last year he played with the Kings, the Pacers, and the Bulls. 57 games, averaged 6 points, 5-point rebounds on 52.8 shooting. He was, of course, he's a clutch guy as far as clutch sports.
Yeah,
He's not clutch. He's not in the clutch. He's not great in the clutch.
Clutch with a K.
And last name starts with a K too, Tristan Kardashian. Yeah. But what are your thoughts on this signing? I mean, the first thing comes to mind is like, why don't we make this signing before the Houston game? Maybe that would have changed something. But Darvin Ham said a few weeks ago they worked him out and it was good, but they weren't really planning on signing. What do you make of this? Do you think he can have any impact at all?
He shouldn't play unless there's an injury, is my thought, or major foul trouble. Here's the thing. The Lakers needed to use that 15th roster spot. They needed to use it a month ago. Yeah. They didn't. I'm glad they are finally using it for a postseason run. Yeah, if Anthony Davis gets in foul trouble and then Mo Bamba gets in foul trouble, Wayne Gabriel's your only big. So you need to have that depth. Yeah. So I'm totally good with having the depth. I hope he doesn't play in this game. I mean, if Tristan Thompson doesn't play, that means the Lakers have a successful game. Yeah. It's kind of as simple as that. So, yes, very happy they finally got the depth. Very happy they finally have someone where if, knock on wood, someone gets hurt or foul trouble happens, you have someone to put in who can at least, grab rebounds. I mean, that's what he was doing when he was winning a title with LeBron, just being an offensive rebounding machine. So, yeah, you have him there. He shouldn't be playing. But if everything goes wrong and foul trouble happens, great. They have him. Yeah. That's as much as it goes. He's not going to be playing any consistent minutes.
Yeah, I think ideally you're seeing him clapping on the sideline, pumping up LeBron.
Exactly.
He's really
a handshake.
Give him a handshake. And, if anything happens if he's playing, something wrong happened, whether it be injury or something like
that. Or something really good.
Or it's a blowout. It's a blowout. We're up by 40.
But even then, I don't even think he'd come in. I feel like Mo Bamba would get those minutes. I feel like in a blowout, Wendy and Gabriel's getting the 5 minutes.
True.
And it's really just unless something
not even last 30 seconds. Just
not even
get a little house of highlights.
The only reason that he's coming in is if something went totally wrong and an injury happens or just major foul trouble to a big man.
And who knows if he gets his opportunity. Of course, he's one of the best offensive rebounders the last 10 to 15 years. But also, they picked up Shaq Harrison, and I was excited about this one. I mean, he was a guy who this season he's such a spark plug. He plays bigger than his size. What's your assessment of Harrison, Noel?
I seriously think that was just for strictly defense because just looking at his stats, he's not much of a scorer, not much of an efficient shooter either. But just playing scrappy, just playing that do that dirty work for a team is what they really need. And honestly, picking up both of these guys in Shaq Harrison and Tristan Thompson, I think it's more so that you have some veteran experience on this team. These guys are really young that we got at the trade deadline, and Anthony Davis is the second oldest guy on this team right now next to LeBron, which is pretty crazy considering that we haven't had AD for a long time. So I just think, we're trying to win a championship. You need guys that have been in the league for a long time. You have Shaq Harris, who he's been around the league. He's trying to find a home, so he's going to do everything he can to do that. Then you have Tristan Thompson, who's won a championship with LeBron before. He's not the best player anymore. He hasn't been on a team for a reason, but he still has that pedigree. He still has that experience of going on long runs and going up against Warrior squads and just being around so many different stars. So I think the Lakers were doing it more from hey, let's have this vet in our locker room.
Yeah, I mean, Tristan Thompson could be pretty much a player coach out there. Yeah. I mean, if he can get in their practices and teach guys kind of how to read offensive rebounds and show Anthony Davis where to position himself to get more offensive rebounds, show Mo Bamba where to position himself. I mean, all that's super helpful. And obviously, he may not be the same player he was, but at one point, he was really one of the better big men, at least at offensive rebounding, defensive rebounding, blocking out. So, if he can get in there in a practice and just kind of show a few guys a few tricks, that'll go a long way.
Just a little advice during the game, too, during those big playoff moments.
Go stand here when he's doing this. Here's how a great way to calm down in a big moment when you're shooting free throws. Because, Tristan Thompson has his fair share of needing to get out of the line. He was never a good free throw shooter. So, just little things like that can go a long way.
Never hurts to bring in LeBron's friends.
And that also never hurts
you also bring in the Kardashian curse a little bit, too.
Yeah, but
hopefully they're not at the game. That's the only problem.
The last time the Lakers signed a couple of LeBron's friends before a postseason run. It was J.R. Smith and Dion, or J.R. Smith was really the big one, and then they won in 2020. So
Philly cheese.
Sure.
Maybe they're getting that luck again.
Yeah, he's going to be in the DMs more than he is going to be in the lineup, so we know that when it comes to Tristan Thompson. But I think Harrison, the spark plug, credible guy that runs the offense. If it gets to that point,
but I don't see him coming in either.
Yeah, none of these guys are going to have an impact for sure. None of these guys are going to have an impact
Shout
at all.
Shout out Devon Reed, though. I feel bad that he got cut this way, but he'll still get a ring.
I don't feel bad, really. If he wanted to contribute, he would have played his part. But I think
you're not messing with Devon Reed.
No, he's
Devon Reed hater.
He has a couple opportunities. But okay, so we're gonna couple more topics on the Timberwolves series though. And the Timberwolves playing game is if you had one big concern for the Lakers heading into this game, what would it be?
I mean, honestly, for me, it's just them going cold from deep. I mean, I just feel like they're a streaky three-point shooting team, and there are sometimes where they start relying on the three-point ball, and then if it's not dropping, which we have seen plenty of times, Malik Beasley have bad games, D'Lo have bad games, Troy Brown Jr. have bad games, LeBron have bad games. I mean, the list goes on. And if the three-pointer's not dropping and Anthony Davis is getting double-teamed, the Lakers could be in for a long night, and they could be playing in that 8-9 game or 8-10 game to get that final spot. But that shouldn't happen. But yeah, my biggest concern, it has to be just them going cold when it matters most, when the lights are brightest in a crypto.com arena postseason atmosphere. That's my biggest concern.
No, your biggest concern?
Probably still with the youth. I'm just a little scared they might fold under the pressure. Being in one of the biggest games of the season. They've been able to play great so far with all the pressure on them, but that's the regular season. Now we're going up against a hungry Timberwolves team with obviously nothing to lose, considering that they're punching walls and punching each other. So they don't care about anything. Anthony Edwards is talking about how he wants to be on a team like the Bucks that has great leadership and that has championship aspirations. So I think he's just going to go out there trying to go for an 81-point game.
I would not be shocked if Anthony Edwards shoots
seriously
40 times.
It's like when you're playing 2K and then you can only press one button. He's just going to be pressing the shoot button, or he's just going to be passing the cat, if anything. So.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely on the money right there. My biggest concern is that this is a close game in the fourth quarter, because both the Timberwolves and the Lakers finished within the top 10 in their clutch rating down the stretch. So if this gets close and Anthony Edwards is the best player on the court, Anthony Davis, sometimes when he falls asleep, they're not going to him, he's not in rhythm, and you're relying on LeBron. And this is one of the more intense games that LeBron has played in a long time. Playoff basketball, playing basketball, it's at a whole nother level. Is he going to be his first real game at the Crypto with a full sold-out Lakers team? I mean, with full sold-out Lakers crowd. I just want to see how he handles it. I think the Lakers most likely are going to cruise. I think the Lakers are going to win. They'll probably be double digits at some point in the second quarter. I think they end up winning by something, let's say 113 to 104. But what would your prediction for the game be, Noah?
Yeah, I think it is going to be a close game. I think the Lakers are going to be down early. I think we've seen that. I think the Timberwolves are going to go down double digits at one point. It's going to be one of those games or runs. And I think in the fourth quarter, it's going to be kind of like a 6-point game for a good amount of it. But I do think the Lakers are going to come through. I'm going to say Lakers by 7. I'll say something like 117, 110, something like that. But I do think the Lakers are going to win this game, despite probably a good game from Anthony Edwards.
You going to guarantee that win?
I'll guarantee it.
All right, it's a lot.
If they don't win, it's going to be a punch. It's going to be a punch in the gut. So
there you go. Yeah, I mean, you get this win, you get the 40s off, and you play Memphis, and you put yourself in a great position heading into that first round. How about you, Noel? Give me a score prediction.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go 100 to 92.
Oh, low scoring.
I think it's going to be a pretty scrappy, ugly game at times. I think LeBron might have a little rough game at first, and he's going to get going. Once the fourth quarter comes, going to get to the rim, got those and ones that somehow takes him from 17 points to a 33-point game, like he always does. I'm going to go AD drops a 30-piece on Cat.
Oof.
I'm going to go Ant goes for 30 as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think outside of those two guys, we're going to see the other teammates struggling. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a LeBron James virtuoso performance. I see LeBron going for 34. He's made Taurean Prince look like barbecue chicken every time he's faced with him. I think you're going to see the crown. By the way, what are your thoughts on the crown? I mean, some people have an issue with it. I don't know if that's a message to his hair guy, like I need to be resodded tomorrow or something. But what are your thoughts on the King James crowning celebration?
I love it. He's the king. He knows he's the king. He went 8 for 14 from deep. He single-handedly kind of put the Jazz away. Crown yourself. Crown yourself, LeBron. You are the king. You help this team get back to playing contention. You are going to go lead this team on a surprise playoff run. So go crown yourself.
The kid from Akron, bro. What else could I say? Strive for greatness. That's all I got.
Hashtag James Gang.
We are all witnesses, right? Yeah, no. Talk your ish, LBJ. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Lakers 24-8 Roundtable. As always, I'm so thankful that you are a member of this show. And this is your show. I'm just hosting it. So, of course, follow him at Mr. Noah Cameras, alllakers.com, Sports Illustrated Lakers, beat writer, experts right here. And then, of course, on my right, Noise by Noel. Follow him at Noise by Noel. Always bring that fire content, but let us know down below in the comment section, what is your biggest concern for the Lakers heading into this playoff game? Give us a score prediction down below. So let us know down below. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And until next time, go Lakers.